good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever time you're listening to this. Long time no vlog. I haven't vlogged in a while because I've had quite a significant life change. I won't go into details, but pardon me. Basically, I am living with my family, and my relationship status has changed. So I don't have the same time frames that I can record and talk because of people's sleeping schedules, and I also have very limited privacy. So I just haven't vlogged in a very long time. But I wanted to vlog today to just talk about some things and update you guys on where I am and what's currently going on with me. Also, I seriously apologize for my voice. I am getting over a cold, and yeah, so that's why I sound weird. But anywho, so I wanted to talk about how to draw no matter what is going on in your life, because I feel I've successfully done that this year, and I've been through a lot, so I'm just gonna pat myself on the back for that. First thing I wanted to talk about is drawing when you're upset. Some people draw when they're upset because they get inspired to vent. Other people get the opposite, where they don't feel like drawing anything, no matter which one you are. I seriously encourage you to just draw when you're upset. I have done this on both occasions where I am either super inspired to draw and want to vent, or I am so upset that I don't feel like drawing at all. So I've done it both times, and it's always helped me process my thoughts and get things out. It's also an important part of art. Sometimes when we're trying to make art into a business, we're so focused on honing our skills and trying to get better that we forget what makes art so unique and special, and that's the fact that we put our heart and souls into art. So art can be a business, but it's also therapeutic, and it's really important to not forget that. The second thing is to draw and not be such a perfectionist. This is something that I'm still struggling with, and it's definitely something that I want to get better with. But when we focus too much on perfection, which I'm not saying you shouldn't try to improve, because improvement is super important, and it's really the only way we can be successful artists, is to notice our flaws and to try to better them, and make them better. But what was I gonna say? I forget what I'm saying. It's good not to focus on smaller flaws, because what happens is I will keep trying to redraw the same thing for an entire day, and it's really inefficient, and it's just not doable when your life is crazy and stuff is going on. You can't spend 8 hours on a single piece. So I would just recommend to not focus on smaller flaws, and if you really aren't sure about something, just ask for a second opinion. I ask my friends a lot of times, and I know people would say, well, you shouldn't do that because they're biased. My friends are usually very honest, and they're always trying to critique my work and help me. So in my case, my friends are my go-to, and they have helped me improve, and yeah, so that's what I say to that. But if you feel like, if you have a group of friends that aren't like that aren't honest, and that just compliment you, maybe join a forum or go on DeviantArts forum. DeviantArts forum has helped me a lot with critiques. So anyway, that's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. The next one is finding time when you feel like you don't have time. I currently am only working part-time, but I do want to eventually be full-time, because I just can't survive on part-time income. So but my schedule is also constantly changing, and there are days when I will and have been called in on days that I was scheduled to have off. So what happens to my art then? When money takes priority over your art, it can feel a little bit discouraging, but there are time frames that you do have that you may not realize you have. So one thing I've done is try doing quick watercolor paintings during your breaks and lunches. That's really helped me. I actually did one this past week, and it turned out really cute. You'll be surprised what you can do within just 15 minutes. And if you want to even dedicate your lunch to art, I would say go for it. I mean, you could always do half and half, where half of your lunch is art and then half of it is you eating, because I don't want people to be unhealthy and not eat, because eating and drinking water is important, so don't do that. And then the other thing is feeling motivated when your life is super busy and there's a lot of stuff going on. Motivation isn't always a thing, and we know this as adults. We have to do a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of things going on in our lives, and there are a lot of days when we just don't have any motivation. Don't wait for motivation. Just do it. Like the meme says, just do it. Pardon me. And the reason I say that is because when our lives are that busy, yeah, we're not gonna get the same sort of inspiration and random urges or ideas that we might normally have if we had a more freed up schedule. So just don't wait for motivation. Motivation's not gonna come. You just gotta start without it. And so a lot of times once you start doing art and drawing, then the motivation comes after you start the activity. One idea that I read it somewhere, this is not my original idea, but it is something that I'm going to try on days when I'm not motivated, is to just set a timer. Set a timer for like 5 minutes and start drawing for 5 minutes. And then if I feel like continuing to draw after the timer goes off, then I will do so. And then if I don't feel like continuing to draw once the timer goes off, which I highly doubt it, I highly doubt that's going to happen because I love art, and I just know once I start doing it, even if I'm tired and unmotivated, I'm going to want to continue. Then to take a break and just wait a little bit and try again. The other method I did when I was full-time was on days when I would come home, and I failed a lot in the past. I only started taking art seriously these past 5 years. Not that I didn't care about art, because yeah, art was a huge part of me still, but I wasn't as self-driven as I am now. But when I did work full-time, I did also still do art on the side a little bit. I wasn't very good at keeping up with it. There would be long periods of time where I just wouldn't do it, and I never want to fall into that category. I don't want to fall into that habit ever again, because I know it makes me sad and depressed, and it's not a good place to be. But anywho, I would do art first thing when I came home, if I was feeling particularly driven that day, because usually when you come home you're super tired, and if you just sit down and start doing something else, you're not going to want to pick up a pen and draw. So it's good to just do it right away. And that's what I did. And when I did do it, it worked. So that's another suggestion. The second one is, pardon me. Oh my goodness. There was an idea that popped up that I cannot for the life of me remember. Okay, so the second one was to not view art as a chore. A lot of the times, my best friend and also my co-business owner for Hand and Paw didn't draw for the longest time because she was super busy, super stressed, and she had just let her art go after she graduated high school and got married, and just life happened. But we started back up with Hand and Paw, and she's rediscovered her love for art and how much she's missed it, and she's improved crazy amounts since she started back up, and I'm really proud of her. And but the way she has done it is like I also said, where she'll send me doodles she's done at work, like on breaks or on lunches. She will like set goals for herself, but art is self-care. Don't you view art as a chore. When we're artists, art is really important to us, and if we let that go, we're letting go of something that is a part of us, and a part of us to a point where it will cause issues, where you will feel sad and maybe even anxious, and you might not even realize why. Well, it's because you let your art go. So don't view art as a chore. Art is self-care. It is part of your self-care, and in order to be truly at peace, when you are trying to relax, you need to take care of your artistic self if you are an artist. So that's one thing I wanted to say, is view art as self-care, because that is what it is, instead of this menial task that you have to do. So, anywho, it does take time to get into the swing of things, especially if you haven't done art in a really long time. But once you start, and the more you do it, the better you'll get, and the easier it will come for you, and the happier you will be, because you are nurturing that part of yourself that needs to be nurtured. So that's basically the important things that I want to talk about, as far as struggling with keeping up with your art in life. We're not superhumans. We do have, days where we're gonna fail, and on those days, don't beat yourself up too hard. It's going to happen, and we just gotta let it go and move on and try to do better next time. But anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. The rest of this time lapse, if there is any left, is just a piece I'm working on for a good friend of mine for her birthday. I think it was her birthday, and it's way overdue. So, anywho, have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.